Good afternoon. My name is David Decker. I'm the chair of the Resource Management Committee. This is our first meeting of the afternoon, and we're going to start out with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have roll call, please?
Mr. Decker?
Here.
Mr. Graves?
Here.
Mr. Barnes?
Present.
Mr. Dibble?
Here.
Mr. Fanton?
Here.
Mr. Harris? And Mr. Crandall? 7 members present.
Thank you. Next item of business is approval of the minutes from April 21st, 2021. Could I have a motion? Mr. Graves, Brooke Harris is second. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And carried. Normally at this time, we would be hearing from Scott Torrey, Soil and Water Conservation Director. He is on his way to Oklahoma. His son Logan is graduating basic training out there this weekend. And so they've gone out there for his graduation. We have his report. If anyone has any questions, we could take those up with Scott when he returns. Next would have been Brian Perkins, Youth Bureau Director. He is unavailable this afternoon, but again, we also have his report, and we can go over that and ask him any questions when he returns. Next is Laura Hunsberger, Cornell Cooperative Extension. Hi, Laura. Correct. And then hit the button.
Talk button? Okay,
Yep.
great. Scott had handled that for me last time, so. Okay, so you have my report. I'm just going to highlight a couple things that I thought might be of interest to you. Within agriculture, we had a berry workshop, a flock talk, clever name, which was online, as well as a pasture management class, all of which was well attended. Mr. Decker and I were just discussing fair and what that looks like this year. We don't know what the local fair is going to be looking like. We might know on Friday, but last week, New York State 4-H announced that despite plans for the New York State Fair to be open, 4-H will not have a presence there this year. It's been determined that with the guidelines and protocols, it would not be a safe environment for members, staff, or animals. So there is no indoor displays and such. So it's going to be a strange year. The kids normally have all of their activities and the things that they show at the local fairs that then win awards and go up to the state. So I guess we are looking to having a robust 2022. Another 4-H activity, we just wrapped up a 5-part cooking series, which was called 4-H Cooks, and kids would be eligible for this by doing a act of service. They had to take a picture of it and then report on it, and they would get this little kit that included a cutting board and knife and an apron. And then we had these online cooking classes that were hosted by our nutrition staff. So it was super fun and very well received. So we are moving forward to having a baking class starting in June with scones, brownies, and I think cupcakes being some of the highlighted items.
And ice cold milk along with
And
it.
ice cold milk to go along with all of them, exactly. We had an Earth Day activity with Farm to School and our horticulture educator, which was over at Genesee Valley. There were 270 K through 6 students that were there, and they planted sunflowers. So it was very well received and fun, and nobody had a voice by the end of it because with masks and shouting throughout the cafeteria, it was, I guess it was a very tiring day, but it sounded like it was very fun. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Laura on her report?
Mr. Chairman? Thank
Mr.
you.
Harris?
Any update on the new property?
Not right now. We are in the process of getting a survey done, which will then roll into a site plan. So the survey has been started. When I was over there mowing last week, you can see the markers up indicating the boundary lines. But it's a pretty long process to get all that stuff done. So I believe our attorney's in touch with their attorney, and who said that they are working towards a mutual agreement. So we closed last year. We physically own it. We just have not moved towards the code zoning modification that we're looking for. Thank you.
Any other questions? Mrs. Hopkins?
Yes. Sorry. Laura, can you give us a little bit more information about the orientation for the ag community educator that's ongoing? I see it looks like some in Zoom, some in person.
So Jeremy Bear is our horticulture educator. He's been with us for maybe a year and a half or so. And as you know, within Extension, there's a lot to learn and a lot to get up to speed on. So it's just an ongoing process of, he also manages the Master Gardener volunteers. So yeah, so some's in person, some's virtual, some is self-directed. Some of it's, getting used to the Cornell system and the resources that are available there. So,
Thank you.
it's kind of weird being the only one up here.
Any other questions for Laura? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we will hear from our county administrator, Carissa Knapp.
Thank you. I'm here with a request to fill positions. Every year, we do operate the Rushford Beach, except for last year due to COVID. We're opening back up this year. We do need a recreation director and between 8 to 10 lifeguards for this. I can't find where the county administrator has come in the past for permission to fill, but that is our policy. So I'm here today asking for permission to fill these positions.
I'll move it, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Mr. Graves, seconded by Mr. Dibble. Is there
I don't think there's much more to it. We have someone in, that's already the recreation director from last year. She'll probably continue in the role as director. We have been advertising as lifeguards. I believe we have a number of applications to look over on that.
Okay, thank you. Just so everyone knows, those watching online and here in the gallery, the public beach is set to open Memorial Weekend and will be open weekends through June 20th, and then starting on Saturday, June 26th, and operating every day from then through the rest of the summer, and the last day will be Labor Day. So it's about a 14-week session where we have the public beach open at Rushford Lake. So if anybody have any questions or comments, all those in favor of this MOE, say aye. Aye. Opposed and carried. Next item is an agreement with the Allegheny County Sportsman Federation.
Yes, every year we give money to the Sportsman's Federation for two items. One is wildlife habitat and stream improvement, and the other is conservation education. The education is kids to DEC camp. And unlike every other item where we give money to an organization, I can't find where we have an agreement with this one. And we've been doing this, I believe, going back to the late 60s. That might be why. And I would just suggest we have an agreement outlining what we're giving them the money for and what they are expected to do with it. So I'm looking for permission to proceed with working with the Sportsman Federation on an agreement.
So we're not looking to move this today other than direction for you to pursue the
Yes,
agreement.
I'm looking for direction to formalize what we're already doing.
I'll move that.
Moved by Mr. Dibble, seconded by Mr. Fanton. Any other questions for Carissa on this? Again, this is giving her direction to pursue this and come up with a suitable agreement. Yeah, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you.
Well, in keeping with that are the next two items, so it might be easier if I just continue the conversation with them. I'm asking for a budget transfer on the wildlife habitat and stream improvement budget item. As we know, every agreement should have an amount in there, and this budget line was reduced by 20%. When I write the agreement, I'm asking to restore it to a full 100%, and the difference on that is $500. So I am looking to probably do a budget transfer into this line so we can give them their full 100% allocation that they usually get, which is $2,500 total.
And this is 500 for the two of them, or 500 each?
500 just on this line item, and then the next line item, which is for conservation, is 700. No, is it 700? Yeah. I'm trying to open up that one right now. 700, yep.
Moved by Mr. Harris, second by Mr. Dibble. All right, so the first item is adding $500 to the wildlife habitat and stream improvement. Is there any further questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of adding $500 to this wildlife habitat and stream improvement line item, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that's carried.
And this will be adding 700, and we'll be going back up to the full allocation of 3,500.
Moved
Fenton
by
will move
Mr.
that.
Fenton, seconded by Mr. Graves. Any discussion, any questions? All right, I'll call for the vote on this. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any old business to come before the committee today? Any new business? Anything for the good of the order?
Mr. Chairman, as it appears there's no further business to conduct, I move we adjourn.
Moved by Mr. Graves, second by Mr. Dibble. All those in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed? And we're adjourned. Thank you.